Here's my Premier League match week 13 recap. I mean, what a fun weekend for the Premier League, and we're gonna have a short week. I think the next start match week 14 starts on Tuesday, so that'll be what it's gonna be. But regardless, let's go through every game and talk about them. The Southampton versus Brighton game. Southampton they played really well against Liverpool the week before. Didn't get any points off of them, but they carried that over into stealing a point off of Brighton, who are actually, in my opinion, a really good team in the Premier League. Brentford played Leicester City. Leicester City just appointed Rue Van Nistelrooy. I think he starts managing this week, and so I think his first match will probably be tomorrow. It'll be good to see a different system and a different system installed that Steve Cooper just couldn't get going for Leicester City. But Brentford won 4-1. Brentford, in my opinion, teams like Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth, funny enough, they all have Bs. Those three teams, in my opinion, are very good. Like, they're good Premier League teams. They are dominant, foundational Premier League teams who will be in the Premier for a little while because of their club, because of their ownership, because of just what their club is about. And every manager that comes and goes, when it comes to those three clubs, they immediately gets installed to the system and to the culture of the team. So I love it. But yeah, 4-1 win against Leicester City for Brentford. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle drew 1-1. After Crystal Palace scored a goal in the 90th minute to take a point off of Newcastle. Newcastle needs to be more consistent. They need to hold off on wins. They're battling with a lot of injuries as well. I think Alexander Isak went out with an injury pretty early on to that match. Joe Willock, he didn't look. I think he picked up a knock as well. So injuries are riddling the Premier League. And granted, there's just so many games that these guys are playing that it's injuries are bound to happen. And they are happening in the mini. Nottingham Forest takes 3 points against Ipswich. Nottingham Forest has been one of the most underrated teams in the Premier League this season. They are continuing to score. They are continuing to keep clean sheets, and they are continuing to win. They now sit at sixth place in the Premier League, 1 point behind Manchester City in fifth place. That's pretty impressive from that season, from that team. Very, very dominant from Nottingham Forest. Wolves lost 2-4 against Bournemouth. Crazy first half. This first half scoreline ended 4-2. There was a couple pins. They were just really good goals from Bournemouth. Like I said, Bournemouth is one of those teams that are very, very good. And they're a team that, they aren't a blowover easy win. They're a team that's going to dominate. They're going to hit you on possession, on the counter, and they're going to leave a mark on you. So, big win for Bournemouth. Arsenal won 5-2 versus West Ham. I think we are going to see the manager for West Ham get sacked here soon. He just hasn't been doing enough or anything for this club, and they are struggling all around. I mean, they genuinely are not a good team right now, and they currently sit 13th or 14th in the Premier League. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get back to normal, because right now this team is struggling on all the courts. Arsenal sit in second place, tied with Chelsea. And yeah, I mean, they're rolling. I know they went through some tough patches, but they're starting to figure it out. Injuries were reeling them too, but they're starting to figure it out. Chelsea beat Aston Villa 3-1. If y'all don't know, I'm a Chelsea fan. This match was great. This was a show of force and dominance, and it looked like Chelsea have found their form. They found their new identity, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying watching it. Moise Caicedo, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. Cucurella, most underrated player, one of the most underrated left backs in the world. Through and through, we saw Enzo Maresca transform this team into a top 4 contending team again, and that's what we've been missing. That's what we've been missing for years, and now it's finally back, and it's a joy. 3-0 from Aston Villa. Manchester United won 4-0. I mean, this was a good game. This is the first game under the new managers tenured at home in the Premier League. This is a big win, very successful win. Obviously, we know Everton aren't great, but they got it done, and 4 goals past. Marcus Rashford scoring well is always a good sight for Manchester United fans. Tottenham, Fulham 1-1. Very stale first half, but the second half there was a red card that was issued to Fulham with like 20 minutes left in the match, or 25 minutes left in the match, and Tottenham couldn't get over that hump. Tottenham's identity is mediocrity, plain and simple, and so I don't think they'll ever be title contending teams, but it is what it is. Fulham took a point off of Tottenham. Last up, Liverpool versus Manchester City. I watched this match. This was a very, very interesting match to watch. Like, if I have to think about it, like, watching Manchester City from the start of the game to the end of the game struggle, defend, look like a shell of themselves. Uh, it was bad. I mean, this was not a good display of Manchester City. Granted, I will say this: Pep, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about Manchester City in the slightest. But they're definitely struggling as a team right now. Liverpool looked like they were the most controlled team I've seen in a long time. For them to hand, for the pat, I mean, what Slot has done with this team has been nothing short of excellent. I need them to make sure that they bring back Mohamed Salah. If they don't, then that would definitely be a loss. But man, this team's rolling right now. They're 11 points clear in the Premier League, so it's pretty much shored them up in the Prem. They're top 5 in Champions League. They are going to win a lot this season, and people are going to have to start understanding that. You went from Jurgen Klopp to Slot, and Slot has been a shoo-in and a perfect, transitional manager. And it's crazy. Like, if you think about it, like, they struggled with the system, with the positioning early on in the season, but now they're fully involved, fully engaged, and it's a good match. This is a really, really good Liverpool team.